you have learned about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing positive and negative numbers. So before we start today's lesson, we're going to have a moment to do our do now. I want you to open up the student lesson slides on Google Classroom, and that is where you're going to be doing today's activity. I can see that Gonzalo is already on them. Carlos is already on them. Thank you, Daniel. It is attached to today's Google Slides, so please make sure that you are clicking on those. All right. There are two questions in today's do now. I'm going to wait here until we're all listening and voice level 0. Hila has played an average of 20 hours on Roblox in the last week. You're figuring out how long did he play per day. And then for the second question, you're saying a bank charges a service fee of 75 cents per month for a checkings account. A bank account has $85. How many months until the bank account is negative? So you're going to have the next 4... I didn't make it individual? Okay, I'll do that. You're going to have the next 4 minutes to work on it. If you can't do it right now on the slides, make sure that you do this on a piece of paper. I will make it available for you on the slides in a second. All right, I'm giving everybody 4 minutes. Please make sure that you go in Google Classroom and you click on the new 2-unit slides so that you can access your own individual slide. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. All right, as I was walking around, I'm noticing that a lot of people are having trouble with that first one. So what I want us to do is I want us to take a look up here and think about what the question is asking us. Can anyone tell me what is the question asking us to do? Yes, Milton.
How many hours of Roblox did he average in a day?
In a day, right? So what were the values that were given to us to help us figure that out? Yes, Eric.
A week and he averaged 20 hours.
So they gave us a week and they gave us 20 hours. It's asking us how much per day. When I think about per day, what should I think of? I'm sorry? The average. Yes, Xavier?
Like how much the average is per day, and we have to find that by dividing the amount of hours by 7, since there's 7 days of the week.
You're saying dividing the amount of hours by the days of the week?
Yeah.
Does everyone understand what Xavier's telling us to do? Okay. So then, for that second question, we're going to use a similar strategy. So before we go over those two answers, I want you to use Xavier's strategy that you just gave us in order to complete those two questions. So So I'm gonna give you an additional 2 minutes to solve that in your slides. And then I'm gonna pull up someone's work to show us the answers, all right? So 2 more minutes, fix your responses, and use Udavier's slide, Udavier's strategy. Purple? Can you see now what she did? Okay. What did she do? Do we all agree that she divided 20 by 7? And why did she do that? What did Udavier say at the beginning of the class? Yes, Gonzalo?
To divide the average of 20 hours by 1 week, which is 7 days.
Exactly. So we were supposed to divide the total number of hours by how many days in a week there are. That's exactly what Valeria did up here. What did Valeria do for this one? Liza, can you tell me what Valeria? Oh, Ryan, you want to tell us? Go ahead.
She divided 85 by 0.75.
Okay, so does everyone see that she divided 85 by 0.75? Now, why would she do that? Why would she do that? What do you think, Tanya? Why do you think that she divided the $85 and then 75, 0.75?
Because the question's asking us how many months, and since we have 85 and saying 0.75 per month, then that would mean that there's multiple months, and then you're trying to find out how many months the 85 is going to last if you're getting 0.75 out every month.
So just like what Tanya said, $85 is the total amount that you have in that account. And 0.75, is that what they're giving you every month, or are they taking away that every month?
Taking away.
We're getting taken away 75 cents every single month. So then if we divide those two values, it'll tell me that after 114 months, there'll no longer be money in that account. It'll actually be in the negative. So then, I need everyone's attention up here for what we're about to conclude, is that what Udavier and Valeria have been talking about is, in order to find out how much is in a certain amount of in months or in weeks, we have to take our total amount and divide that by our unit rate. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out how many hours in 7 days. I'm creating equally sized groups, 7 equally sized groups, and I'm putting in 2 hours and 6/7 every single day. Do I have any questions after this, Gina? No questions? Then I want those Chromebooks half mask, and I want your attention up here. Go ahead.
I can represent situations with expressions that include rational numbers. I can solve problems using the 4 operations with rational numbers.
So essentially today we're just gonna wrap everything up. You're gonna be using the 4 operations in order to solve problems. And that problem that we're gonna be working on today, before I actually have you guys work on it, I want us to do the 3 reads protocol. It's where we read it 3 times, and every time that we read it, we have a different question that we're answering. So the first time that you read the problem, I want you to focus on what is the situation about. The second time you read it, you're focusing on answering what are the values in the problem. So what numbers are being given to you. And the third time you read it, you're answering the question from the values that you have identified, which ones are used values, and then which ones are going to be credit values. If you need to highlight and color code, you can do that, but I want you to do this on your slide And I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to read that question 3 times. At a voice level 0. So thank you, Tiff, for already starting. We're doing this in the next 3 minutes.
It's about a utility company that's charging somebody 12 cents per hour, per kilowatt hour, but they're also giving them a credit of 0.025 cents every kilowatt hour.
For what?
For every kilowatt hour of electricity a customer with a solar panel generates that they don't use themselves.
So it's really important for us to understand that this situation is the same thing. Remember how we talked about solar panels last 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It's very similar to that situation where this company is charging people, as Eric said, 12 cents per kilowatt hour that they use of energy, and then 0.25 of energy that they generate but they do not use through their solar panels. So the second question was, what were some of the values that we can identify? Can we identify some of those values that we have up there?
No.
Yes, Tanya.
It was 0.12,
Mm-hmm.
0.025, and then an hour.
And then what? An hour? Okay. But I want us to be very specific now about those. What does the 0.12 represent?
The charge.
The charge for what?
Energy use.
Energy used. Thank you, Tanya. Energy used. And how about the 0.025? Milton, what does that represent?
The money they get from the energy generated from solar panels.
That's so much, basically nothing.
So you're saying energy generated. Do we all agree with those two things?
Yeah.
So now the situation is telling you that this family, a customer was charged $82.04, and their credit that they earned was $4.10 on this month's bill, negative $4.10. $4.10. Do you remember what credit meant from last week's problem? Yes, ma'am?
How much they got back, and it would be represented negative because the positive is how much you're being charged.
Did everyone get to hear what David just said? Carlos, can you repeat that? Because what David just told us exactly what it's supposed to be.
So 0.12 is how much they're being charged, and 0.25 is how much they're getting back. 0.025.
Yes, but he was talking about specifically the signs of these numbers. One's positive and one's negative. What was he saying about those?
What's it called? Negative. What's it called? The company is getting paid them. Positive is how much they're getting back. Then 0.025 is how much they get back.
Okay, wait, hold on. Now I'm getting confused. Carlos, it's telling you that a customer was being charged $82. Does that mean they're earning that money or they're paying that money off?
They're paying that money.
And then the next one says the credit was negative $4.10. What does the negative numbers tell us?
How much they're getting back?
That's how much they're getting back, right? Because credit is like a refund. That's how much they're getting back.
What a bargain.
What a bargain. So you have 3 questions that you're answering. You're telling me what was the amount that they paid at the end of the month? How many kilowatts per hour or kilowatt hours did they use? And how many did they generate and they did not use? The key thing here is looking for used energy and it's the used energy and energy that they're generating. So make sure that you pay attention to those things. Dave here already told you one strategy that we used this morning for the do now. He divided the total by the unit rate. Use those strategies in order to help you solve those problems. With your partner, you're working on this for the next 4 minutes.
What's your partner?
Yeah, so Luis, what are we doing for the next 4 minutes?
Working with a partner
To do what?
to solve the problem.
All 3 problems, okay? So 4 minutes, let's go. Work with your partner. Okay, so we're gonna do this. How are you gonna know how much it's gonna be in the month?
So you know right at 0.22, right? So we're going to do
4.10 from
That is what the movie we were just talking about.
Subtracted by
Can you tell me how to be like this?
That's how much they get back.
82.04 minus 4.10.
Because positive numbers in this case represent what?
And that will give us 77. So that's how much to do this.
And then the negatives are?
77.94.
That's what I want y'all to talk about, because you already got it. Because he got his thing going on. Look at him. Where's yours? We're right here.
Yeah, that's why I have to do
What does the amount do? What are you saying? How do we figure out how much is due at the end of the month?
So
the solar panel is the thing that they use. It'll be 82.804 minus 4.
So they charge 12 cents per
kilowatt hour.
So
how much kilowatt hours did they use?
how much we're getting back?
The amount due is 82.04.
So then we
So
have
how are we
to,
gonna figure out how much at the end of the month?
we're gonna have to find the number to,
We can just divide it.
Yeah, divide, yeah.
He's already doing that.
yeah.
Louis, you have drive. It's right next to you.
So they use 683.
Said.
Miss Garnica, can I get this to be round up?
Yeah, you can round up. Alright, so we got that.
Essentially, we got this, we just rounded up. So basically, they use 683.7 kilowatts hour.
You know how to do it? Or you don't? What are you different?
600.
You got it. So what is the 82 out of the 4 central? How much they owe? What is the 4
You just gonna put that?
central? So how do I know how much at the end of the month? This is how much they owe, not how much is
Alright,
left.
so how much kilowatt hours did they generate that they didn't use themselves?
Minus that.
So when we do, it's just the same thing. We just do 82.04 divided by 0.
You subtract it, you subtract it. Because that's how much they do.
Ever disrespect.
Miss Garnica, so like, to find how much, kilowatts kilowatt hours they generated with the solar panels, we're not supposed to do this.
Well, we were talking about generated. So what were the numbers that were talking about generated amounts? Which one talked about generated amounts or like the solar credit that we would get? 0.025. Is there another value that's talking about? No, the charge is how much we use, right? The credit, right? So then, if this is the credit that we owe at the end of the month, and that was how much we were given every single month.
Oh, so we divide it. this by this.
This is used, right? So are we talking about the used amount right now?
No.
We're not even talking about the used amount. We're only talking about one.
So do we divide?
Well, then we
0.
generated.
Okay.
So what are you saying?
I was saying if we divide.
Oh, so we divide 4.10 by 0.
Because
Because we're supposed to divide this most of credit we've made by how much credit we made per kilowatt.
kilowatt generated. Exactly. So that was more than the 5 minutes, but let's take a look up at Gonzalo's work. And let's see if we agree with the first question. Just take a look at the first question. Thank you, Joaquin and Milton, for looking up at Gonzalo's question. Thank you, Valeria. I need everyone's eyes on the board. And we're taking a look at his first question. So give me a thumbs up if we agree. Give me a thumbs to the side. A lot of us are giving us a thumbs up. Okay, Victor, can you explain what Gonzalo did?
2.4 minus 4.7.
And why did he do that?
Because we're trying to find the amount he owes.
So why did we use those two numbers if that's the amount, if we wanted to find out the amount that they owe? Why would we want to use that?
To pay less.
To pay less? How do we know that we're paying less?
Because the 4.10 is how much you're getting back.
This is how much we're getting back. So this is our refund essentially. And this is our total pay, right? So our total pay minus what we're getting back would give us the end, the amount due, right?
Yeah.
So we're clear on that one?
Yeah.
Yes, Brian.
All about taxes.
What about taxes? Did this talk about taxes?
No. That's tax free.
And this situation is tax free.
Tax free.
Okay. So that second question. Can we take a look at what Gonzalo did? Can we take a look at what he did? I need all eyes up on the board. I can already see Joaquin is shaking his head yes. So are we agreeing with the way that he answered question number 2? We're all agreeing?
Yeah.
Okay. So Gonzalo, can you take a step by step? How did you solve question number 2?
So, well, in the situation, it said that the utility company charges 0.12 per kilowatt hour, and this customer had a charge of 82.04, and since they charged to 0.12, and so if they owe 82.04, they divided it by 0.12, and that gave me 683.66, which is the kilowatt hours they used.
Did everyone get to hear what Gonzalo just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree? So the key thing in that explanation that Gonzalo was talking about is that he took a look. We should not be doing any of that. He took a look at 0.12 is how much they're charging them per hour. This is the used amount. So is the 82. So those two numbers are going to tell us how much kilowatt per hour did we use in a whole month. Do you know how many hours there are in a month?
700.
There's 730 hours in a month. They used, how much of those hours did they use the electricity for? 683. So 683 of those hours of the whole month, they were being charged for that amount. Now, so the second question is similar in terms of you are taking the amount of credit that they gave you at the end of the month, and you're dividing it by the amount. We're gonna say it? No? Okay. The amount per hour that they're charging them for the money that they generated and they did not use. So if we take a look up here, Brian,
Yeah.
if we take a look up here, what did our positive numbers represent? Angela. Go ahead, Eric.
How much they charge,
I don't know if the whole class was able to hear.
how much they charge that.
How much they charged us, we agree with that?
Yeah.
And then the negative was how much we got, right? How much money the company owed us, the customer. So for today's lesson, our main takeaways, I do need those Chromebooks, half mask, and I up here. The main takeaway for today's class is that we can use adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing positive and negative numbers in order to solve real-world problems. In situations where we need to find how much equal groups are, like how many equal groups are formed, we have to divide the total by the unit rate. That's what all of you guys did today. You took the total amount of energy that you used and divided it by how much they were charging you per hour. In general, we know that subtracting a number is the same thing as adding its opposite. And multiplying and dividing have the same rules. If I multiply a positive times a positive, we get a? I'm asking the whole class. Positive times a positive?
Positive.
A positive times a negative?
Negative.
A negative times a positive?
Negative.
A negative. And a negative times a negative?
Positive.
A positive. So on Monday, we're going to take the exit